I mean, I've been second, finishing order so many times. I did win at COTA, but I've always been pipped at the last minute for pole position in all these races. So this is the first one, man, and I'm glad to get it over with. Got that monkey off my back.
Better than that, though. You've got the TA guys worried.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about this place. I've never been here before, but I knew it was super fast. I love high-speed circuits, old-time circuits like this, old-time driver, old-time circuits, and the Audi just eats it up, man. It's a great place. I'm glad we came. We approach this just like we would any other race. You know, we have a strategy and we play that strategy out no matter who shows up. The whole goal is to run hard the whole race, just like we would if we had 10 guys in our class.
Well, there is the 98 Breathless racing car, sponsored by One South Florida Wealth, and it belongs, of course, to Ernie Francis Jr., a 6-time champion at just 22 years of age. He's already won the first 2 races, and he's not planning on losing any more. He wants to win here. He's raced here before at Brainerd, and down there with him, I think, is our man Ben Sissel.
Hey, and welcome everybody to Brainerd International Raceway. So excited to be here. This is the TA, XGT, SGT pre-grid. We've got 1 minute on the grid, so these guys are going to get out here fast. But look at this. The first 3 are lined up in the order that they are in points. First in points, Ernie Francis Jr., followed by Tommy Dreesy, qualifying second. Ernie qualified for first at the pole. He won pole position last lap of qualifying. It was kind of big drama yesterday in qualifying. Tommy Dreesy, second in points, hunting for his first championship in TA with Burton Racing this year in the Lucas Slick Myth Camaro. Amy Ruman has been here and won here twice in the TA class. Some of the drivers have never raced here at Brainerd International Raceway. She's won here twice. Then we go to Chris Dyson. He flip-flops with Simon Gregg. Chris is 5th in points, but 4th in qualifying right now. And then Simon Gregg, this is Chris's first time. Chris's first time here at Brainerd. But I want to make sure that So also, back here in the back, we can't move any further. We've got Ken Thwaites. Come away a little bit. The one I really wanted to get to, and we'll talk about it later, the last Corvette, Adrian Lostowski. He usually races the Mustang with us. From New York, all the way out here because his car broke. Great race. These are the TA cars, the 800+ horsepower behemoths. XGT, SGT Viper, Lee Saunders, XGT, Audi R8 right there. Then we've got Aaron Pierce and this beautiful 26 SGT car. And then that's Adrian, who broke the back. It's going to be a lot of fun, Johnny. I'm sending it back to you for the TA XGT SGT race at Brainerd.
Ben, you're in the thick of it all the time. Well, if you didn't hear everything he said over our fantastic muscle cars, I think the biggest story that we want to talk about is Adrian Lostowski, who has done a brilliant job, frankly. He had a car here, a Mustang, blew the engine on Friday, couldn't find an engine to replace it, so they drove out from New York, his team that is, his Corvette that he races as well, and they've put the Corvette together, borrowed some tires, got here at 4 a.m. in the morning and put it all together, and he's out there. Now, he's going to be 200 pounds heavier than his regular car, so he doesn't expect to be competitive, but that's a great story of how Trans Am can react when they need to, and Adrian Lostowski will race this afternoon. So we await as the rumble of these TA cars. These are the most powerful cars we have, some up to 850+ horsepower. Tommy Dreesy from California, from Hollywood, California. He's in the movie business, and he likes the script. He always does. He's had several pole positions in TA, and he thought he had pole position yesterday, but the man in front of him, number 98, just nicked him at the final moment. But that's what Ernie Francis Jr. does. Here's our onboard. This will be Ken Thwaites with the Audi GT3 LMS. Franklin Road Apparel Audi R8. And we got some great pictures from it at Mid-Ohio, and he could be a threat today, actually, Ken, because the thing about the XGT class is that it's got all the gizmos. It's a production car, effectively. So while the TA cars are fairly rudimentary in terms of what they can and can't use, they've got maybe more power. But because Ken Thwaites is so nimble in the corners, he's been giving the TA cars a run for their money. So Ken Thwaites is the man to watch for sure today. So we await the start of our TA race. And like we said, this will be a staggered start. We'll have the TA competitors first, and then just a few seconds later, then we get our production cars up and running. Now, we do expect, therefore, to be a lot of overtaking or traffic in this race. And that's what makes this skillful, because you've got to be eyes open the whole time. There's not a lot of places to overtake at this Brainerd circuit. So the fast guys, like Ernie, yes, they want to get away well, but Tommy Dreesy will want to get ahead of him if he can. And Tommy will be smart. He'll use the traffic when Ernie gets to it to try and get into a battle with Ernie, or try to use that traffic to get ahead of Ernie. And don't count Amy Ruman in the all-red Corvette there, because Amy has won here twice before. Amy Ruman won here in 2012 and in 2015. And I said, well, what's the key to her of winning here at Brainerd? And she said, you know what? It's tire management, because if you get a straight race and there is no caution, then the tires can go off. So it's managing the tires and being ready for the full race and not going hell-bent for leather right from the get-go. So this is going to be an interesting race of strategy in many ways. So a slight pause as we get ready to head out. Tommy Dreesy just waiting. Great character. If you don't know much about Tommy Dreesy, look him up. He's a real character. He's been around this championship for quite some years now. And now the roar of the engines begins again. So the TA cars roar into life here at Brainerd International Raceway. A beautiful sight, a beautiful day here in Minnesota. Clear blue skies here in July. It's been a tough year for the motor racing community. There's no question about it with COVID. And obviously here more locally for the Copham family, who have been part of this Brainerd circuit since 2006. In fact, Jed Copham, who we've been talking about all day, started racing himself here in a Model T Ford, a 1931 Model T, and he was at high school at the time, and he would be very proud to see the action here today. So they head out of the pit lane and start to warm those tires up, led by Corvette. Big day for Chris Dyson. He's had some electrical issues. He's sorted them overnight. He's looking for a good result as well. And this there event is brought to you by Ryan Companies, a national leader in commercial real estate services. We design, develop, finance, manage, and construct buildings that tell the stories of our employees, our customers, and our legacy. At Ryan Companies, we build stories. This event is brought to you by the Copham family. Jed Copham was our loving son, our brother, our husband, and our dad. Our hearts are slowly mending from our loss, but we're comforted by knowing that his passion for racing allowed him to touch so many lives. Race on, Jed. Well, the cars are out on the pace lap around the Brainerd circuit, and it is truly a very challenging circuit. Here's what the drivers had to say about taking on Brainerd.
Well, Brainerd's, it's very technical, and it's also extremely fast. Turn 2 is my favorite because your heart is in your throat the whole way around. It's a long corner. You just let it breathe a little bit and then flat back on the floor and hold your breath.
I think one of the corners that I dislike the most is going to be, I don't even know the turn numbers around this place, but there's one left-hander when you're coming back this way, might be like 5 or 6, and that turn just likes to push everything. Every time I go through there, cars wants to go right off the track. So hopefully we can keep it under control there and take it home and get a win.
My favorite here probably has been the 11-12 complex coming into the pit straightaway. Real fast, kind of bumpy S's, blind on entry going right by a concrete wall on the way in. So you got to be real precise, real committed as well. Thread the needle over the curbs and then finish out the lap strong.
So the car's on their warm-up lap, and as you can see, they're trying to put some temperature into those tires. And Ben, obviously people who are familiar with motor racing know exactly what they're doing, but you're just trying to get those tires up to temperature, even though it's a hot day.
Yeah, because the tires need to be at a hotter temperature than it is ambient outside, meaning the outside temperature. And I just want to point out this guy talking to tires, the Corvette that's starting last right there, Adrian Lostovsky, races an SGT Mustang with us. He broke his crankshaft at the harmonic balancer. He lives in New York. His friends had to drive a truck 24 hours from New York to here, and then he had to use the tires from his Mustang, which are the wrong size tires for the wheels. The Pirelli guys were able to put it on, but he's in the hunt for the SGT championship, and he's in the hunt against Lee Saunders in that red Viper. So he wanted to do the race. So he's going to basically, to get points, he has to finish half of the race. So then he said once he makes that halfway mark, he's going to go all out to try to win his class.
Pretty close in SGT. Lee Saunders leading with 34 points ahead of Mark Bowden. Good opportunity for Lee Saunders this weekend. We spoke to him, and there he is in the Viper, the number 84. That is the car I would want to be in through turns 1 and 2 because it's so strong, that V10. And he said it's pretty hair-raising, that's for sure. And we wish Lee Saunders luck, the man from Florida. And he'll be pedaling it around, I'm sure, in the production class of SGT. Also, good luck to Ken Thwaites, his first pole in Trans Am yesterday. And if you're seeing the cars all lined up, tailgate style, that's what the Cophams have decided to do. They've let everybody in here for free, which is a really nice gesture. And they've said, download the app, sit on a corner, watch the cars go by, and then tune in to Ben on the app. Can't beat that.
No, it's a really cool deal, and I love seeing all these cars. From our vantage point, the fences are lined with cars, so it's basically a live drive-in movie of a great race.
Talking of movies, Paul Newman got his first professional win here in 1982 in a Datsun 280ZX. How about that?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. A lot of greats have raced here. The Trans Am Series raced here back, I think, 69 they started, back in the Donahue, Parnelli, Jones, Fulmer age. And so they've done 2 pace laps, safety laps,
so
and they're going to go green.
The pace car is off.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ernie controls this race. Now, Dreesy will know that this is his best opportunity. You don't beat Ernie Francis Jr. over a lap of a race. You've got to get him early. And you've got to react early, because once Ernie gets the lead and gets into his zone, there's no stopping him. Ken Thwaites will lead Lee Saunders in the production class. They'll be up right afterwards. Off goes the safety car, and they'll come out of 12 and under at the 13, and now heading towards 1. Ernie Francis has the advantage, but funnily enough, Dreesy's in a good position if he can get the run. The green flag waves. We're racing in TA, but Ernie is off to the races, and look at that! Amy Ruben steals a march on Tommy Dreesy and dives into second place. The 2012 and 2015 winner is liking it. She did a brilliant start there in the 23 Corvette from McNichols. Now Dreesy will try and come back at her at 3. Ruman holds on. Chris Dyson looking for position and looking for a podium for sure this weekend. Ernie Francis Jr., though, leads this race already 40 laps to go. Good crowd. Tailgating all around the circuit here at Brainerd. We are delighted to be back here. As we go on board with Tommy Dreesy, the map is on the top left. The revs and the speedometer on the bottom. You can see the wheel for yourself, and the throttle and the brake, the T and the B. That's how much he's on the throttle, and you'll see the B, the red mark, go up when he brakes like now into the clover turn for the first time. So good start from Ernie Francis Jr., but what a good overtake from Amy. She wasn't holding back there.
No, and if you follow Trans Am, you know that Amy and Tommy Dreesy, there's no love lost between these two. They race really hard against each other, and Amy, I think she just got a better jump at the start than Tommy did.
Yeah. And I thought that Tommy could have a chance there because he was on the outside, and I mean, you can possibly get a slingshot if you get the run, but no, it was all Amy. But Ernie trying to pull away in these opening laps, his first lap. In fact, Amy was the fastest lap there, a 1:40.4, but that was pretty much equal with Ernie Francis Jr. as we see the number 20 plaid of Chris Dyson. Up and down for Chris so far, but he's looking for a good result out of this one. Had some electrical difficulties last night, sorted that out, and he's back and running.
Yeah, I talked to his mechanics yesterday because they had the whole front end of his car off, and they had a problem with the oil cooler. They said it was just a very minor problem, but he pulled over so that it wasn't going to be catastrophic.
Right.
And he's back out there. Chris loves this track. He loves the high-speed technical tracks like this. That works to his advantage with his driver skills. So I expect him to work his way up to the front.
Great perspective from above. There's first and second coming into the left-hander. That's where Rafa Matos got his cool shirt award, and he deserved it. Really, really good. And then another jink there before you head towards, sorry, that's 7 and 8, into the clover turn at 8. And that's when it gets really interesting. And I agree with Mike Skeen, who was so successful in the previous TA2 race. This part of the circuit, very exciting through this blind, next to the wall turn, and then onto the main straight, past the start finish and into the final corners under the bridge. So Dreesy trying to stay on level terms, but look at that. Ernie's got it to the groove already, a 1:29.9, and starting to extend that lead in that last lap. Faster than anybody out there, but not that much faster. He's about half a second quicker than Amy in that last lap, and there you see the gap. And 2 laps gone, so the field already starting to spread out as we take a look at the 59 of Simon Gregg. Now, he had some problems too. He had an incident, a mechanical, which I just saw his car coming all crumpled up.
I'm not aware of that. I didn't know that Simon had any problems. But now we're watching
maybe I got that wrong.
The XGT class. Ken Twaits
no, it was
right there.
Kerry Hitt, that's why.
Oh, yeah. Kerry Hitt did have an off yesterday in qualifying. That's why he qualified
I'm just
last.
testing myself, Ben.
But there we go. Aaron Pierce in the SGT Corvette makes his pass on the XGT Audi. Aaron Pierce was actually racing a TA2 car with us at Mid-Ohio, and now he's with his SGT Sam Pierce Chevrolet Corvette out there with us. And I just got word that in about 10 minutes, Trans Am champion Tony Ave is going to be joining us in the commentary booth, and this, I would consider this to be one of his home tracks.
Yeah, no question about it. He said, I was reading up about it, and he said this is one of his favorites. Had such success here back in when Trans Am returned to this circuit, and I think it's a real favorite as we go back on board with Ken Thwaites leading in the XGT class in that Audi. Meanwhile, as you can see, the breathless racing number 98 of Ernie Francis Jr. starting to extend that lead now. So it's Ernie in TA leading. XGT led by Ken Thwaites, and SGT Lee Saunders continues to lead ahead of Aaron Pierce and Adrian Lostowski. And we'll keep an eye on Lostowski in a foreign car, as it were, for him. We'll see how he's gone. That Mustang's done a good 800 miles. Well, not the car itself, but those that brought it here from New York last night. Inclement weather, the lot, but they got it here at 4 a.m. and Lostowski's out there racing.
Yeah, and actually he told me right on the grid that he's worried about his gas consumption. That's a sprint race car that he's racing out there in that fast auto Corvette, and it doesn't have, he may have to come in for a refuel or he's got to save gas, he said.
Well, I was talking to our PA commentator, Scotty, and he was saying that car's some 200 pounds heavier than his Mustang, so that's going to be a hard thing to do as well, pushing an extra weight around the course. So Ernie doing a really good job now of extending his lead now as he heads down towards turn 7 and 8 again. And Amy now just probably concentrating on her mirrors. Lostowski in 12th at the moment, some 9 seconds off the lead. but it's Ernie Francis Jr. on lap 3 ahead of Amy Ruman by 2.4 seconds. And Kerry Hitt it was, who I mentioned earlier. He was the one that had the issue, if you will. He had a mechanical at turn 3 and went straight on and crumpled the front of that car. And what is it about Brainerd that the drivers love?
I think, well, they love the fact that it's a very racy place with a lot of passing areas. They don't necessarily love how physically demanding it is. The second half of this will be interesting. You never really get a chance to rest here, so it's technical, but there's some high-speed stuff, but it's also very hard to hang on to.
Just for those who don't understand, when there is no, obvious lots of places to overtake, how then do you go about trying to get through the field?
It's just a matter of going where the other guy isn't, frankly.
Yeah, basically.
But fortunately here at Brainerd, there's a lot of passing zones. Almost every corner you approach, there's a way to pass somebody in it, and it can make the races really interesting. So I think, and the other factor here, of course, is this place is super physically demanding. Since they shortened this track and made it so technical, it wears you out.
Did you race the long one?
I did. I won my first SCCA National on the long track here.
So just explain, that was 3.1, and that meant you extended our turn 1 that we currently have on the 2.5 to 2 more corners that went further back. It was the fastest road course in America.
That's correct. Half of it was basically wide open.
Wow.
And so, but it was pretty exciting. Turn 1 and turn 2 were very exciting. But and I'd love to go back and run that course again. But anytime you can come up here, the fans are great, and it's generally speaking just a fun part of the country to be in the summer.
Tony, as we go on board with Ken Thwaites, and it's good to be on board with him because he's really come through. He took a few years off, and he was putting in times on Friday that was scaring the TA guys. Tell me why that's possible with a production car.
Well, that particular car is a GT3 level car, so they're actually allowed to do a lot of things to those that we are not allowed to do with the Trans Am cars. They've got a lot of electronics that aid the acceleration, and they've got big brakes on them. They have a lot of downforce. And so what the focus of the TA cars is, of course, is sort of brute horsepower and elbows up kind of come out there.
Yeah.
Whereas a car like Ken's is really designed to do most of the work for you.
And so he's got the gizmos, and generally speaking, he's more nimble through the slower corners and therefore is able to make up the time there.
That's correct. I mean, the only place you really have an advantage in a TA car over something like that is accelerating in long straightaways.
Now, you know Tommy Dreesy. He won't be happy that Amy Ruman caught him out at the start, and I would have thought that Tommy's going to get, not desperate, but he'll want past, won't he?
Tommy was driving for me at the height of their battles and controversies, so I saw with interest when she went by him. I know when he drove for me, he'd be making a lot of noise on the radio when that happened.
He said to me the other day when we put an onboard camera on his car, he said, "Is there audio on this camera?" Because he said, "I talk a lot." I said, "I can imagine you would, Tommy." He goes, "Well, I'm not so sure it's good for TV." And I said, "It might be, it might not. I don't know."
I need to edit it a little bit.
Yeah, there may be. We'll have the beep button on. So, okay, let's put you in Tommy's car, or put you in his ear. What would you be telling him to do now in terms of trying to get past Amy?
Well, the biggest thing is you have to see where you're stronger than her, and try to set yourself up so that you can get a run at her at that point. And a lot of times being right behind her when you get there is not the way to do that.
Right.
So that's really just the thing, is analyze where you're stronger, and in a lot of cases you're not, so you have to wait it out. Now you see what he's doing there. A lot of guys do that. They sort of move out to get in their mirrors. Really, all you're doing is hurting your own tires, and a driver like Amy is not affected by what she sees in her mirrors, trust me. If anything, you're giving her a signal that you might try her there, so that's something that I would not be doing, actually.
Yeah, if Tommy's got a history in Trans Am, certainly the Ruman name has. Her father raced, she's raced all her life, she's been around tracks all her life. There's no intimidating Amy Ruman.
I mean, if you're going about the same speed, a lot of times what works better is just sort of lull them to sleep up there. Just stay behind them, let them think that there is no real threat. Just kind of hang out there and then try to catch them when they're sleeping. And that's kind of the best way to handle this, because her car looks like it's really under her. And Amy's a tough customer now, I'm telling you. She is very tough to race. When her car is good, she's as good as any of the guys are.
Well, let me flip it also. He's concentrating on Amy, and like you just said, thinking about where he can get past her. But you'll also be watching Chris Dyson and know
That's
how
right.
good a quality driver he is, and maybe saying to Tommy, "Hey man, if you're going to do something, do it now, because Chris is coming fast. We're looking at the times. Chris is right on pace at the moment, a 1:30.0. Tommy was slightly quicker, but you can see for yourself that number 20 is coming.
Yep, it's going to become a 3-car problem here instead of a 2-car problem.
Yeah.
Basically, what I'd be telling him is if you can get by, you need to do it right now.
Yeah.
If not, it's still early enough in the race. You might let Chris go by you to see what he does with her, and that might give you a window of opportunity when he does go by her. But Tommy's not likely to take that particular piece of advice.
Again, he jinks out, but like you say, he's not doing anything that's going to intimidate her. She's seen it all before, and unless you're going to make the move, don't do it. Turn 3, though, is an obvious place for an overtake, but as he does that, Chris Dyson just catches up. Me and Ben were talking earlier about TA2 and about tyre management, and Amy told me earlier in the weekend, this place is, it's high on tyres, especially in this heat. We talk about tyre management. Tell me what that means to a driver and how you do it.
So you just never want to slide them. You certainly never want to spin the front tires going forward, the rear tires going forward, right? You don't want to lock the fronts up. What you really worry about here is all the acceleration patches, they just kill the rear tires, right? So you want to feed the throttle in really slow. It takes a lot of discipline to do that, especially if somebody like Ernie's pulling away from you. But at the end of the day, you're really just going to hurt yourself if you try too hard too soon.
That's an interesting point. Okay, well, you got it from Tony Arve. 4-time winner here, almost 5 except for the puncture. Yeah, that must be the most, in all the racing things you can do. I suppose if you make a mistake because you're pushing hard, you don't get too hard on yourself. But a puncture's just like, it shouldn't be in the rules. It should be like, nah, I can't go out for that.
Yeah, it's, unfortunately
Here we go.
Yep, he's having a look, but I don't think he's got anything there. See, the problem is there now. He'll get right behind. See how he fades back? He should have stayed a little bit wider. He wouldn't have washed out in her draft.
Gotcha.
Now he lost an opportunity. So.
And Chris is only going to play into that.
Yep, and Chris may have a run at him now as well. So this could get interesting.
Well, this is an obvious place for an overtake at turn 3. Jinx out again, does Tommy. But Amy's got the better of him. She's got enough of a car distance where he can't really dive. But I have to say, the move of the day, Rafa Matos, I'm sure you watched it in the previous race. That was a great dive.
Looks like Chris is having a problem.
Oh, he is. He slowed right down. What is it about the number 20? If it wasn't for bad luck, he wouldn't have any. And he's out again.
I thought I saw some smoke coming from the front of the nose, maybe a power steering line, or as slow as he's going, he probably has some sort of an engine-related issue, unfortunately.
Well,
that's too bad. He's a great guy and a really good driver with a great team. They just haven't had the luck.
Yeah, he is. He's a super guy, and you want well for him every weekend because he comes here with a big smile on his face and bounces around the paddock, and then he gets these bad luck problems, usually mechanical. He very rarely makes a driving mistake. That's true.
He's done so many good big endurance races where you have to put the numbers up for hours. This is just a short sprint for him, so he does a great job driving. Just like I say, they need a little bit of that luck.
Yeah, Dyson's another one with a famous name. Heavily involved in racing all his life, grew up at a racetrack and loves racing. Now, Amy under big pressure now from Tommy Dreesy. This is as close as he's been as he dives towards turn 1 again. He looks to the inside, now to the outside.
That was smarter, see, to get that nose back out in the air. That was smarter. Now he should be able to suck up on her here.
Yeah, now he should make the move at 3, right?
Yeah,
this
is
can.
2. Looks like he's gaining now, and she has one in front of her, so now's the time to try it, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it.
Now, how does she play it? She needs pass Lotowski quickly, and she's done it.
Yep, that was important.
Nicely done. They both go through turn 3. This is a great battle now. 31 laps to go. Now, Tommy makes a mistake there. How much will he lose on that?
He's working on those tires.
Yeah.
He's going to pay for that later.
I was about to say, that's what it's all about. And Amy looks quite smooth, actually.
Yeah, she's always been very smooth. She's going to be easier on the tires than most of us generally are. She could be a big factor at the end because she knows how to take care of that equipment. She's always been very good at that.
So you were saying earlier, or I read up earlier, that this is one of your favorite tracks. Obviously, you've had the success here, but that doesn't necessarily mean it is or it isn't. But not a Road America, not a Mid-Ohio, this one?
Everybody loves Road America.
Yeah,
and I grew up racing there as well. I have just an affinity for this place because I did race here a lot when I started, and I won a lot of snowmobile races in Brainerd when we raced up here. We had a lot of big wins at the fairgrounds here, so the Brainerd area, I definitely enjoy coming here.
All right, you can dispel a myth or not for me. I think snowmobile racers, like Kimi Räikkönen, like yourself, anybody who does anything that has no traction sometimes, I think learns that in their head and in their butt and in their body quickly, especially at a young age, that they can turn into road racing, where it's quite different, but you'd be surprised how much you can learn.
100%, and like the last race in the rain at Mid-Ohio, it has a lot to do with how I can run in the rain, particularly you get used to racing where you can't see particularly well.
Yeah, very good point. We saw Hamilton take a pole in Formula One in the rain, and he definitely has that touch, and you see the great racing drivers who are able to take no traction out there and turn it into traction for themselves. We can see that Chris Dyson's going to be picked up, but at the moment I don't see any yellow flags out, so it's safe, and they hopefully will drag him out of the way. There is an exit I can see just in front of our commentary position, which hopefully will allow us to keep going. But this battle is keeping going, and it's Amy Ruman in second place and Tommy Dreesy in third. Meanwhile, Ernie Francis Jr. is checked out. He's got a 10-second lead, has Ernie, and I think he just wants to get a win under his belt without any stress. He started from 5th last time out at Mid-Ohio and did a sterling job of taking the win there. But today he wanted to just get on with it, I think.
Yeah, certainly he's able to run by himself now while the other two behind him are racing hard, so this is good for him on a tire situation as well.
You're listening to one of the greats of Trans Am, Tony Arve, who's joined us here in the commentary to check it all out from Brainerd. He is an absolute expert here. He's the perfect guy to talk to. 4-time winner here at the Brainerd Circuit back in 2010, 11, 12, and 13. So, come on, Tommy, let's try something here. You've been hounding it now for a lap or two, and there it is. You can see Chris Dyson just being dragged away, and in fact, he is out of harm's way. That was good work by the marshals, getting him out of the way, and now we can continue without any worry. Somebody else slowing down there.
Yeah, they had just had an off at this last corner up here. I'm just really bummed out for Chris. He's a fellow sprint car racer like me, so I feel bad for him.
Yep. Chris is a busy lad during a season. I don't know how busy he's been during the shutdown, but he's always racing something. But yeah, Amy's got nothing to do, she can't worry about Ernie Francis unless he has a mechanical or unless there's a yellow flag or a full course yellow. In fact, she was probably praying for one because that would have helped her a bit. But she's still got Tommy in full attention here, and he's also playing that game where if there isn't a lot of places to overtake, you kind of try to force the opponent into a mistake, right?
Yeah, it looks to me by the body language I'm seeing, he's getting a little impatient, so it's probably a good battle to watch.
Tommy getting impatient? I've never heard of such a thing.
I should say getting less impatient.
Less impatient, gotcha. He has a reputation for that. So there's Adrian Lostowski. And we just saw one of the drivers. Adrian up to 11th place. He'll be pleased with that. He's behind Kevin Long. Chris Dyson out, obviously. Aaron Pierce just ahead of him. Lee Saunders still leading in the SGT class. And Ken Thwaites leading Kevin Long in the class. We're on board here with Ken. See him moving the wheel around on the inside. It's nice to get that view of the steering wheel. You see how smooth he is in the Audi. It's almost like it looks like he's having a day out on a Sunday afternoon in the park, but he's working a little harder than that. It's quite a physical track, isn't it?
It really is. You just never get a rest here. You're either accelerating and shifting or braking hard. You just never get to catch your breath.
Yeah, but you catch your breath on the turn 1 and turn 2, but that's breathtaking.
You're just holding your breath there.
Yeah. There's the outside shot of Ken Thwaites' car. Thwaites, as they call him here. I call him Thwaites because I'm from Lancashire and we have a beer called Thwaites and it's spelt the same, so forgive me. But hey, Thwaites, and he said it's a Welsh name. I asked him about it. So I'm sort of semi-right. It's a beautiful looking car, and of course, worldwide, that Audi R8 has been a world beater in its time. And
it's a very well-built car.
It's a beautiful car, yeah.
I have an Audi GT4 that I run in some other racing, and Natalie Decker's going to do some Trans Am racing in it.
Great.
Very well-built cars.
Natalie Decker, who is one of the few young ladies to actually really do some good work in the cars when she gets a chance to race in Trans Am. Saw her at Road America, I think, last year, and she runs well. Looking forward to having her back. Now, come on, Tommy. Let's see a move here.
Oh, I think you're going to. It's just a matter of time.
Under the bridge he comes. Well, this is the best opportunity. Tuck in here, and you tell me, Tony, but tuck in here and then make the move at 3.
Tommy's really good through right there. If he could just keep the front end underneath him here in the draft, he could have a better shot at her in 3, but it's just so hard. Although he's close now, so this should be interesting.
As close as he's been. Battle for second place, remember. All right. Do or die now. Tommy Dreesy,
we're about to
Hollywood,
see if
California.
He thinks he can do it.
Coming from a long way back. That's a little too far, I think. And she's doing a good job of braking late and making sure she's not giving him an opportunity to make a dumb move, as it were, and lunge. Because if he does lunge, he could get himself crossed up and then in a mess, and then he'll lose all the time, and she'll be plain sailing at that point because there's nobody behind this battle, and she can't really catch up But look how close he's getting under braking. This is a great shot.
Amy has always been very good at positioning her car in the right place for this kind of battle. I've raced against her a lot, and a lot of my drivers have, and she really knows how to make it as hard as possible to get around her within the rules. She's excellent at that, and she's doing it right now.
Would you agree with me, though, that I think some racing drivers really show how good they are when they're being chased like this? I think if you're testing, when you're on your own and you're in your zone, then you can go fast. But when you're watching constantly in your mirrors and waiting, and I mean, that's got to be the hardest form of racing.
For sure. Cool under pressure is what that does.
Yeah. Look at Nichols, 23, doing a good job of holding off the Lucas Oils, number 8. Under the bridge they come, and this is where Tommy really gets close. And here he's doing it again.
He's really good through there.
Yeah. But he's got to get the right timing here almost, and I think it's got to be turn 3. We have seen an overtake at 2. How brave are you to do that?
I've done it in the rain. I don't know that I've ever done it in the dry, but it looks like he might try it here. No, there's just not enough room, you know. There's just
well, she's
not enough
good
room.
through 2. Look, she just gives himself about enough distance where he can't make the lunge again.
That's right.
This is really, really good cat and mouse between these two. They're both very experienced racers, and they both know what they're doing. As we go back now, a little further, see some of the battles.
I think that's a recent change for position right there.
Yes. Yep, that was Al Masood actually getting around Kerry Hitt. Yeah. Ooh, that was a putt. Was that just a lockup?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, we're watching that battle. We'll get back to the, I'm sure we'll get back to, Ernie Francis Jr. is now in lap traffic. He's coming up on Lee Saunders by the looks of things. And so Ernie Francis Jr., we haven't seen him necessarily on track, but we don't need to because he's a long way up the field. We'll see if Tommy can make one more lunge, Tony. I want you to be here to see it. You're older.
I have a feeling that battle's going to go on whether he passes her or not. They're going to be battling the rest of the day, I think.
So she'll continue to battle with him. Now, there is a back marker in the way. Here we go.
This could change some things in turn 2 here.
Yeah, especially as they're going to come across him. Oh, now Tommy's now looking for a side-by-side pass, and that was close. He thought about it. Now he gets back behind her. That Corvette is looming ahead as they come through 2. And she's got to be careful here. This is going to be very key. And he gets out of the way, and that's good for Amy. She'll be pleased with that. But Tommy's as close as he's been here. Great racing.
It does look like Amy's having a little harder time keeping her car down to the apex, so it might be a lap or 2 away before Tommy just sort of squirts by here.
Well, listen, Tony, it's been great having you up here. I think you better get on the radio and tell him what to really do, because you're his perennial team manager. I think you need to give him some advice. Here he goes. And that was a Rafa Matos-style move, and through goes Tommy Dreesy on Amy Ruman, or does he? Amy coming back at him. She's right there with him as they go through the left-hander and into Clover. Turn again, turn 8. But finally, Tommy Dreesy has forced the issue, and now it remains to be seen whether Amy Ruman can stick with him now for the rest and the remainder of this race. Well, I said I'd wait for you. My thanks to Tony Harvey, 4-time winner here at Brainerd, joining us here in the commentary booth. And I'm sure Ben's bristling to get back on the mic.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No, not at all. Anytime, my friend. Thank you so much. Go and tell Tommy what to do. Hey, Ben, I know you're enjoying this one as much as I am. I wanted Tony to see the overtake because he set it up perfectly. But that was good work.
Oh, yeah. It's so cool to have these guys coming in and out of our commentary booth because I don't think there's anybody in our Trans Am paddock
and what
that
an
knows
insight.
More about Trans Am than Tony Ave. He's won in the TA class, the TA2 class, in some of the biggest races we have. And then, his battle just 2 weeks ago with Ernie Francis at Mid-Ohio was epic. And, basically his car kind of went away from him, but he was leading that race quite a bit.
And what an insight, from Tony about tire management and about where to overtake and how to, the sort of just the things that we don't often hear about, which is strategy from a team manager to a driver. And he has managed Tommy Dreesy, so he knows the character, he knows what he can and can't do, and he also knows the lady he's up against, who's also just as experienced.
No, Amy Ruman, you can never count her out. And You know, like I said, there's been some drama with Tommy Dreesy and Amy Ruman back in the Tony Ave, Tommy Dreesy days.
He said that, yeah.
And I think she was just smart to say, you know what, I'm not going to get mixed up in this again and let the race come to her. He, you know, like Tony said, he was seeing her kind of drift out from the apexes, so maybe she was feeling her car get away, and she wants to stay in this fight because she's in the points. Right now we are 1, 2, 3 in points and 1, 2, 3 in the position in the TA class.
Well, Ernie Francis has checked out. He's already gone back to his hotel and had a shower, I think. Well, no, not quite. He's got 18 seconds, but he's a long way up the road.
Now, Jonathan, I know you're a very excitable person, but
Yes.
I don't think I've seen you as excited as one of our drivers brought you in one of their sponsors' products. Tell us about that.
He's brought me in some hand sanitizer. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, it's spelled vodka, but you can call it hand sanitizer. It's Big Machine Vodka, which also makes Big Machine hand sanitizer. Scott Borchetta, who did pretty well in our TA2 race just earlier, brought Jonathan up a little gift.
Yep, got some hand sanitizer. Looking good. In the day of COVID, you need as much as you can get. Now, we're looking at the 59. This good battle between Simon Gregg and Hamid Al Masood. And we saw we saw a swap of position a couple of laps ago. And that battle, although it doesn't look that close,
they've swapped twice. They've swapped twice now. And, man, I really want to give it up for that new Camaro that Simon Gregg's in. Of course, we've all known him in that red, white, and blue Corvette the last few years, but now he's in that new number 59 Camaro. And what a beautiful car.
Looks good, doesn't it? You know, I was asking about the C8. I was asking Aaron Colwell about the C8. Mm-hmm. You know, talking about Corvettes. And I said, you know, when could it be homologated into the series? And he said, yeah, there's a good chance it's sort of SGT or you know, that kind of form. But TA, maybe you are. You know,
TA, maybe
you can't
not,
have a mid-engine car.
But I've heard rumblings of maybe a C8 body in T8, but it would still be the same setup, front engine.
Gotcha.
But I expect to see some. I expect to see some Ford GTs and some C8 Corvettes here in our SGT or XGT class soon.
I tell you, it just shows you, after 54 years, when we're talking about the latest Corvette and the latest Camaro, what a history this championship and the manufacturers have brought us in terms of great performance cars. An American muscle. I mean, it continues to be an ever-going story. And as I travel around the world, I'm amazed. We've had this conversation before, but wherever I go, everybody talks about muscle cars in New Zealand, in Australia, and in Britain. So it's good. It's really good, and there's a lot of interest, and I know there's a lot of people tuning in on our live stream and tuning in to watch these races live. So we welcome you around the world, and as Ben always says, you know, hey, send us a message on Facebook or on YouTube and tell us what you want to see or tell us who you want to cheer on. I'm sure you could probably get some swag off Ben or anything I have left over from my hand sanitizer.
Well, I know that Amy Ruman, she's going to join the Amy Army, as I call it. She has fans everywhere, and she's very good to her fans. So you message her, she might make it worth your while, and you can join the Amy Army.
Amy Army, I like it. Well, Masood is caught up again, and they're back to battle, these two. 22 laps to go, a long way to go yet. Now, you wouldn't use a cool suit, right, in a race like this? Or could you use a cool suit?
Yeah, I would strongly encourage you to use the cool shirt.
Well,
definitely, because
but the weight sometimes.
Yeah, there is the weight, but an uncomfortable driver is an unhappy driver, and with the heat like this. One time right after Indy 2 years ago, Amy Ruman got out of the car and one of her crew pointed one of those laser thermometers in there, and her in-cabin temperature was 178 degrees, which is the legal temperature for meat. You know, so she needed the cool shirt. She was like, "That's a cool shirt, saved my life." Yeah. Oh, there we go. Masood.
Oh, Masood goes off at 12. I'm looking at you, and I should be looking at number 21 because the tequila man has just gone loco. And he's back on track, and as you can see, he's lost out on that battle, though. So that battle that had gone on for several laps.
He'll be back, though. He's a teammate.
Oh, and Ernie Francis has just gone off track.
And he's now in reach of Tommy Dreesy. Tommy Dreesy now can probably see Ernie Francis. He's off track again at 8. Ernie Francis has a problem.
He has
Looks like a mechanical.
Problem.
We got to get a shot of that.
This.
They've got
Ernie
the yellow
Francis
flag
Jr.
out.
is coming through the Clover turn, and he's been off track twice in the last 3 corners. He is in serious trouble, and we don't know what it is yet.
Ernie Francis into the pits.
He is coming into the pits, Ernie Francis. Disaster. He built up an 18-second lead, and it's all going to come to nothing.
Maybe not. No, maybe just a slight, maybe it's a tire, maybe it's something.
It could be a puncture, couldn't it?
The breathless One South Wealth Management team could easily get him back out on track.
Well, he's out of breath at the moment because he's out of puff.
Oh, look at that. His radiator's just full. His grill is full of grass, so they got to clear that off.
Okay, well, I've seen that. We had a situation like that at Mid-Ohio a couple of years ago where everybody was coming in to get grass pulled out because it was overheating the radiators. So
But
maybe it's a quick in and out.
we are looking at our current leader, Tommy Dreesy, with the Lucas Oil Slick
Oh,
Mist.
he looks like he's parked it up the way he's come
Racing.
in.
Yeah, that's not good.
Well, or he's just trying to get it as close to them so they can have a look at it. But either way, that was not planned.
He wouldn't park like that on purpose,
no,
I don't think. No, there's something wrong. Looks like it's steering. We might have more power. No, look at that. It's left.
Oh.
His left front suspension is broken because his left front tire is turned and his right front tire is not. He's got a broken suspension piece. Broken tie rod. We're hearing from Terry Earwood. He's telling us that's a broken tie rod, which is not good. That's probably terminal.
And that must have been really scary at the time. He was just coming up to attack Kent Waits in the other class, and I just saw him out the corner of my eye hit the grass. He was on his own completely. And of course, with an 18-second lead, he had no reason to make any tough moves or overdrive the car. And Ernie Francis Jr., a six-time champion, does not overdrive a car. So it had to be something mechanical. And he's limped back to the pits, and I think that's game over. And meanwhile, the Hollywood script is looking good for Tommy Dreesy.
It sure is for this race and his points. And now Amy Ruman probably just got told by her team, Ruman Racing at the wall, Ernie's in, so she's probably going to give the fight back to Tommy Dreesy.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly. She's certainly going to get a skittle on for sure. She's 9.6 behind and was probably, like you said, quite happy to settle at that point. But now it's all gloves off, especially when Tommy starts to get into some traffic and gets into pressure again, because there's still 19 laps to go. And in fact, that traffic is Kent Waits at the moment. It'll take some time to get past him. Simon Gregg, believe it or not, goes up to third place. Hamid Al Masood, who had that problem, but he's
right
now
behind
up
him.
to fourth.
Yeah.
Ernie's in. Kerry Hitt will go up to fifth place. Kent Waits will go up to sixth. And here is Amy Ruman in the McNichols 23 Corvette.
Now, let me just add a little fuel to the fire. If they have a tie rod on the truck, they will try to put that on just to get him out there, because I think he's completed half of the laps, so he could get some points. He probably might need one or two more laps to get half the race, and then he gets points. So they're going to do anything they can to get him back on the track. He would need to do 20 laps of a 40-lap race. Is that correct? I'm looking at Terry Earwood in race control. We think so. This is all provisional. This is speculation.
What's going on with Al
Masood's lost his door.
He's certainly not getting out of the car. It's just that the door is coming off. Yeah, it's been flapping. I think he's just lost the latch to it.
And he probably won't come in until he's meatballed or black flagged about that. But that will make him go slower, especially hanging out there like a sail.
Is that a technical term, meatball?
Well, there's a meatball flag.
Okay, fair
but
enough.
I'm not sure Trans Am uses that.
No,
That's more like a club racing flag. But they might black flag him to let him know there's debris. I'm sure right now Stevie D is up there telling his team that his door's off, and then they're going to review it.
So Masood leaving the door open, but Simon Gregg has already passed him.
It's coming off with centrifugal force of the wind, and then it's shutting again. We saw that happen.
Extra win.
That happened to Chris Dyson just a couple years ago at Road Atlanta. But look at this. Masood's coming in.
Yeah, he is. He's catching him. He's furious. He's angry. Carries the British flag.
Yeah, he lives in London, England, and he works for the tequila company. Super nice guy. Chris brought him in. Chris met him in one of the other racing series and just basically said, you've got to run this TA class. Chris Dyson thinks this is the best platform to be racing. It's basically, he said, it's if you combined a rocket ship and a go-kart is this TA class. 800 plus horsepower without really any driver assistance. And that's, Tony Ave was talking about it here. He loves that class for that reason too.
Yeah, it's a good description. 18 laps to go. Everybody with some drama of some sort. Whoop, there goes the door again. But we've already lost our leader, and that's a real shame. It's a real family affair.
They have not given up, though. Look at that. They're working.
And, it's all hands to the pump, and they work around the clock to get Ernie where he needs to be, and they're doing it right now in front of us. And poor old Ernie. And, of course, he is going to be hot as you like sitting there. He can't get out. He hasn't got time, really. They want to get him out as quickly as possible. But look at the side of the door. You can see just how successful he's been, and he's 22. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? And I've listened to some of the radio communications. I've talked to him. I consider him a friend. He teaches me so much about racing.
Right.
Like, I call him and ask his opinion on things. He took me around the track on scooters the other night and taught me the track. And just a fantastic person, but an unbelievable driver and talent at 22 to make all this accomplishments. But he's in it for the championship, so I think they're going to do everything they can. He probably, to be safe, needs 3 laps.
You know, it's interesting, and I think Masoud's coming again. But, yeah, Ernie's a real testament to how good and how professional Trans Am is, because he's had plenty of opportunities to move away from Trans Am. He's won everything in Trans Am and continues to do so. He's 22. He did a bit of K&N last year, but just, you know, he just says he's happy, he's enjoying it, and when he gets fed up with it, he may go somewhere else. But he's got the whole world in front of him, and I think it's actually encouraged more younger drivers like Camp Vaccaro and Dylan Archer to come and join us, because they can see that there is a future, and it's a good paddock to be in to learn to race.
Yeah, but I can't believe that somebody hasn't snatched him up, like a Chip Ganassi or Roger Penske, because I've never seen more talented.
Well, I think Chip Ganassi gave him a run. He was in the sort of junior program at one point.
Yeah, he's just so great, and he's, like I said, he's always just thinking for the championship. He never makes any big moves or risks. He's always just thinking. So right now, as soon as he came in, he's like, how can we fix this thing and get me out there and get me points?
Here comes the one-doored Al Masoud again into the clover turn. You'll see the door fly open as he comes round the right-hander. There it is. They've got some traffic ahead.
I love watching the different lines everybody takes. Everybody takes either they have a different strategy in that clover section, or they just mess up. And if you mess up in one little part of that section, you're out for the whole sector.
Adrian Lostowski gets out of the way of Greg, and I think Masoud's going to get past too. He's in that Corvette, of course, which he's had to prepare overnight.
I want to give it up for his team, though. That Fast Auto, Adrian Lostowski's team, he's made it through half the race. That's what he needed for the points. He spent 2 days trying to arrange that Corvette to make it. He said, I think, 1,200 miles from New York through the night to get here. They got here at 6 a.m. this morning. He had to change his tires. He has different wrong tire size. He's not sure if the gas tank's going to make it all the way, but he made his points, and now he's going to try to win his class.
And let's not forget, he got his best result in his Trans Am career last time out at Mid-Ohio, so he wants to keep the impetus going for sure. And so this was not the preparation he needed for Brainerd at all. Back with Ken Thwaites.
Look at that car. That's a beautiful car.
It is a beauty.
And Ken is so excited to be in this XGT class. He came up the ranks a little bit differently. He was in that Pro Formula Mazda in the 80s. He actually beat Tommy Kendall at the award ceremony this year. Tommy Kendall's like my longtime friend. He thought it was funny that he won Rookie of the Year, because he's like, I raced with this guy in the 80s and he beat me. And then he went, like a lot of people in our paddock like this, he went into the professional life, and now he's back to racing.
Yeah, he took about 10 years off,
But he came up through the SVRA Vintage Racing School, went to International GT, and then last year around June, he said, what about Trans Am? Should I give Trans Am a go? I was like, please do. And he worked with Aaron to figure out this XGT class, and then there's the current leader of our SGT class,
Lee
Super
Saunders.
GT, Lee Saunders.
Yeah, that Viper looks good, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I had a look under the hood last night, and it's a beauty. Gets prepared in Florida, where he is based, of course, and he's had a stunning career too over the years.
Yeah, but he told me the other day he is a bona fide Mopar man. He will not race anything that isn't Chrysler.
Okay.
And I just found that funny. The car that I learned to drive a stick shift in was a Dodge Daytona Turbo Z, and then he went crazy, because I guess if you're a Dodge Turbo guy, you're loyal to that forever. And he loved that. And so does Adrian Lostowski, his competitor.
Yep.
Is a big Dodge Turbo guy. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, yesterday's pole was his 9th career pole in the Dodge Viper. So the 84 has got some experience for sure in SGT. Going about his business. What a race this has been. This has been a real turnaround. So Tommy Dreesy leads. He's got a good lead over Amy Ruman. But I don't think the drama's finished just yet. Simon Gregg is up to 3rd. Hamid Al Masoud with one door. Doesn't really matter. You can see it's not really affecting him. Is pedaling away in 4th position at the moment. And then Kerry hit. Ken Thwaites is in 6th position.
Their body language has changed.
Oh, no.
Ernie's coming out. Oh, no. You know what? I'm going to text Ernie and see if he'll come join us up here. Ernie, if you're watching this, come join us in the commentary booth.
You think he really wants to talk about what happened?
No. But you know what? Like I said, he's in it for championships and to get his name out there, and he might come join us.
Yeah, what the heck, One South Florida getting plenty of exposure there, though, his new sponsor for this year. Of course, he was frameless shower curtains, frameless shower doors for many years, and changed the colors up this year with a new sponsorship. And here comes Adrian again, coming out of the final turn and on to turn 1 here at Brainerd. And just to remind everyone, we're here to celebrate Ryan Companies and the Copham family bringing us all back to Brainerd to celebrate the great life of Jed Copham, who was a Trans Am driver himself, as well as, it seems, many other forms of motorsport. The man who bought this complex back in 2006 and then brought back Trans Am racing, much to the love of Tony Arve, who you heard from earlier, who won here 4 times, could have been 5. I think I mentioned it before. Paul Newman got his first professional win here. And Parnelli Jones won the first Trans Am race here in 1969.
That's pretty good company.
Not bad.
You know, yeah, yeah, that's pretty good. And I'm so impressed. We were seeing shots of Adrian Lostovsky in that fast auto Corvette. That would be his, not even his B car, probably his C car. And he said it's way overweight for this class, but all he has to do is get the points. He went through tech this morning with Aaron Colwell. He passed that. The wheels are too big for the tires, but they fit on there, and he's out there racing, trying to get the points for the championship.
Whoa, got a bit of oversteer there as he put the power down, but he's okay. Kevin Long, currently 8th overall and 2nd in XGT. We haven't seen him, but that's in the same stable as you were of Ken Thwaites. He hires that car out, and
actually, they're co-workers. Kevin and Ken work together at Precision Auto Dynamics, and they put on some great auto events and curriculum and things like that, but it's really neat. They both live real close to me. I'm in Franklin, Tennessee, and they're both in Franklin and Brentwood, Tennessee, and they just love having fun in these race cars. And Kevin's this is his first time really out with this car with us. He was at Sebring with us, but in the Trans Am class, and he's doing really well.
Good to know. Yeah, I mean, if I was going to do some performance driving, I'd love to try to have a go at that Audi R8, because it's just it looks such a planted car. Looks like it sticks to the ground like nobody's business, and certainly in the hands of Ken, he's proving it. You know, I have to say, just a shout out to the drone coverage, because it's transformed race coverage, especially live. We've always had the ability in the last few years to have drone shots, but never really live. And to get them live like this and really see the gaps for real. It's okay looking at timing and saying, well, it's a 4-second gap. Well, what does that mean? Well, when you see it from above, you get an idea of what the guy is trying to chase down, or how much breathing space the guy in front has. And then you can go back on board like this and see all the gizmos and all the telemetry. There's Amy Ruman just behind him. Ken leading Kevin Long in their battle in XGT. An interesting class that Aaron Caldwell put together last year. And I hope we see this expand, because it really was sort of come out of nothing, wasn't it? It was, and there's so many cars in different racing series that have just been kind of just recently obsoleted because of different class or different model of cars. And so we invite all of them that fit the class, either SGT or XGT, to come out and try the Trans Am series presented by Pirelli, as we watch our leader in that beautiful Lucas Oil Slick Miss Burton Racing, Tommy Dreesy. What a beautiful Camaro that the Rockin' Moroccan's driving right now. Yeah, the Rockin' Moroccan's got a 24-second lead at the moment. I'm trying to think when Tommy last won. I think he got one last year. Was it maybe Indy? Anyway, doesn't matter, but it's been a while, that's for sure. If both of us are scratching our head, it can't have been...
He was on the podium with us quite a bit last year, but I can't remember which was his... I know he did win recently,
maybe
but
Laguna.
I can't remember which one.
I don't know. But either way, it's been a while that he's been in the winner's circle, and this will be a big day, and you'll have to get some... Ha! You were right. You win the bet.
Oh my goodness,
look,
ladies and gentlemen, I got to give
dinner.
my headset over to Ernie Francis. We're going to hate to talk to you under these conditions. Take it over.
We have just been joined in the booth by the man who should have won this race. But I spotted out in the corner of my eye, you go off onto the dirt and dust here at 7. Tell me what happened, Ernie Francis Jr.
Yeah, the problem started on the beginning of that lap, coming around turn 2 over there. Something fell off in the front end. I thought it was a tire going down.
That's what I thought it was, a puncture at first.
I thought it was a tire, so I got over the crew and I told them to get ready to change the tire when I bring it in. And then as I came around this section here, I felt like it was something else in the suspension because it was affecting both ways. The car didn't drop down like it was down on a tire.
And we knew as soon as you parked it, you would never park it like that.
Yeah, no, as soon as I came in and got on the brakes, the wheel just like towed in. There was a suspension link that broke and almost actually put it in the pit wall trying to pull it in there. But yeah, it can't be fixed right now. We'll get it fixed for the next one. But I think we showed our speed out there and showed what we had and should have won this one, but we'll let it slide.
Well, you missed a really good battle while you were busy getting an 18-second lead. This lady here held off Tommy for a long time. She had about 8 laps of pressure from him. He finally got past. And, of course, she thought she was going to settle for a third, and then suddenly it was game on again when they heard that you'd gone out of the race. Good news is you've got the first 2 under your belt, and you've got a decent lead. Obviously, Tommy's going to challenge throughout the season, and we don't know with 2020 what's going to happen. So this is a shame, but you rebuild, right?
Yeah, I don't think we're too worried about it.
There's only so much you can do.
We led laps, so we got points there. Probably got the fastest lap of the race, I'm imagining. So we definitely got some extra points there. Qualified on pole, got points there. So I don't think we lost out too bad.
Well, we watched you try to fix it. We watched your team try to fix it, and so your sponsors got plenty of coverage anyway.
Oh yeah,
because we hardly saw you in the race. You'd gone.
Yeah, I think all our guys back home, One South Florida Wealth Advisors, they're probably real happy with how everything went this weekend. Even though with the result that we had, we were in the press a lot, got pretty much led every session, and almost had a flawless weekend.
Tell us about this Brainerd circuit. What is it that the drivers like about it, and you particularly?
It's a real old school gritty track. It's one of the last few tracks that's still out there that is, like I said, it's old school. There's not many tire barriers, not any safer barriers around here. You go off, you're going to go off pretty big, and it's a fast place, especially in these cars. When we go around the right-hand sweepers in the beginning side of the track, we're carrying a lot of speed through there.
Now we're watching Hamid Al Masood here. He's catching quickly Simon Gregg, but the problem he's got his door hanging off, and so when he goes through the clover, it just sort of pulls out. How distracting would that be, do you think?
It definitely is letting some more air in there when he goes around that
yeah.
turn. Probably throwing off his rhythm as he's coming around there.
Kerry Hitt's just come in. Not sure what's happened to him, but he's just come in. But we're looking at Masood. Look, there you go.
You know what? I actually might be adding some downforce to the side of that car.
You reckon?
He might be going a little bit faster to that turn than he might be before.
Good to know.
The difficult thing on this track is just trying to pass. There's not much room around here, and it's hard to make a move stick because there really is only one line you can run. You get offline around here, and the cars don't like to turn very well.
Well, we know you're our superstar, but let's get down to the nitty-gritty. You'll be packing up tonight and the long drive home, right? How long does it take you to get back to Florida?
Yeah, we'll be packing up. It's a pretty long drive. I don't even want to think about it right now.
No, sorry. I didn't want to bring it up, but yeah, everybody thinks these racing drivers, get their private jet and off they go. Not necessarily Ernie Francis.
Yeah, I wish I had a private jet. Maybe I got like a little RC. Yeah, I drove the truck into the track.
Oh, did you?
So yeah.
Well, you're probably the youngest on the team, so they make you do all the driving.
Yeah, I like the night shift.
Yeah. You're listening to Ernie Francis Jr., our championship leader and 6-time champion, a former winner here at Brainerd in TA4, I think, a few years ago. But sadly, would have put another laurel to his name, but unfortunately, a mechanical issue while he was leading by some 18 seconds have forced him out of the race. I'm so glad he came and talked to us. We'll let you go and get out of your sweats if you like, because I know you're still in your suit, but very kind of you to come up here, Ernie.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll watch the last
glad
day.
to come up here. Not under these conditions, but it's always nice to come up here and talk
We'll
with
come
you
up
guys.
and talk to us after you've won next time.
All right, we'll do.
You're always welcome in the commentary booth. Ernie Francis Jr., great champion, and look him up on social, follow him, and get behind him. He's one of the great champions of American racing from Fort Lauderdale in Florida. Poor old Ernie.
Yeah, and I keep saying this, but I keep being more and more impressed with him.
Yeah.
Who comes out of such a disappointing race and it comes up here and is kind of happy to talk to us and
Kenny
happy to
Raikkonen
help
wouldn't
the
do
sponsors?
that.
No, I don't think
Lewis
so.
Hamilton, Scott Dixon wouldn't do that.
I would not in a million years text Tony Ave in the same situation and say, hey, would you come up here and talk to us?
No. So 8 laps to go, and you can see by this graphic that Hamid is making some inroads bit by bit. He's not letting the door distraction get to him, and he's actually just eking out a half a second here or half a second there, and with 8 laps to go, he's got a chance of a podium.
This is the race to watch right there,
Yeah,
man.
no question.
Great. Chevy versus Ford here at Brainerd, Minnesota.
And if you've just joined us on our live stream, we're live here at Brainerd in Minnesota, north of Minneapolis, about 2 hours. It's a beautiful sunny day here in July, and we are safety conscious. As you can see, all the cars tailgating, so the crowd have to stay in their cars. They've got the app, they can download it, and then they can watch the race from the car and listen to the app and watch the onboards and our live drone shots, which is a great way to go racing. It's a drive-in race.
Yeah, you can't beat that. And those drone shots really can show you how hard and difficult this track is. But also, I noticed when we were doing the commentating at Mid-Ohio just a couple years ago, or weeks ago, that the gaps, you can really see who's faster where, who has the advantage. As we watched Masoud going there into 12.
He's close now.
Yeah, he's getting close. That battle, look at that. He's going to get him. And right now, because Chris Dyson broke, the Dyson's out there watching this right now, rooting for his teammate, really hoping for that first podium.
Yeah, they've been in the same stable all weekend. They both had issues. And this battle, actually, Masoud was leading this battle before, and then Greg came by again. So it's been to and fro between these two, and there's certainly enough time for Simon Gregg, if he does get overtaken, to have another crack back with that new Camaro. So he's got some good battling going on here in classic style. Trans Ams, 2 big marks.
Yeah, it is.
As Ernie says, he might be getting a little bit of extra downforce and a little bit more air in the car.
Yeah, maybe. And Simon Gregg, that Durhog Motorsports and Troy over there is just kind of biting their fingernails watching this. Simon Gregg, the son of legend Peter Gregg.
And these API lifts, these cherry pickers or whatever you call them, but API been providing them for us for this weekend. We're delighted to have them on board to give us these great shots as well from high above the track here at Brainerd. So thanks to them.
Oh, he's a little wide there.
It's close now. Like I said, those drone shots really now show you where, it's looking ahead. That's what you can get to see. You can see where he's now, his next opportunity, he passes our commentary position, will be into that next left-hander. But I don't think he's close enough this time. I think what he'll do is he'll get as close as he can, coming under the bridge here, into the right-hander, and then get the drive out of here. This is the key corner in many, many ways for an overtake at 3. It starts way back here, and that's 1.5 miles away from the overtaking position.
Masoud is just on the edge with that car.
Yeah.
In that hard braking area, we can see a lot of brake dust coming out. Look, he was later on the brakes than Simon there. He's really trying to get this first podium.
And, of course, the car getting lighter now with the fuel load and also the tires being punished throughout this whole race. So it's now where the car is not driving perhaps as well as you'd like it, but this is the business end, and it shows who's got it and who hasn't.
Simon went a little wide there on that curbing, and Terry Irwood took me for a lap around the track, and those white curbs on the exit, they kind of help you because they're a little bit banked. But if you go over it, you're going to probably high center and really disrupt your car.
Well, we're in a really good commentary position here as we look down.
That's Amy Ruman's mom right there. That's Ruman Racing. Nervous looking at this.
I said,
showing times.
I walked in there yesterday and I said, I'd like to talk to you, young lady. And she said, who, me? And I said, yes, of course, knowing that was the right thing to say.
Yeah, and
then she smiled, went, my daughter's right here.
That's great, though. That's the Trans Am spirit, that privateer racing, Ruman Racing, a long stable in Trans Am. And it's still just a family business, and she's out there in second place in a great race. She has really good success here at Brainerd.
Yeah. 2 wins, and I tell you what, third isn't out the question. We weren't expecting Ernie Francis to decommission himself from the race.
No, and Ernie wasn't either.
No, what a shame, eh? Now, Al Masoud just threw up some dust there. Has he lost some time? He has.
Yep. Yeah, he seems to be right on the edge of that car trying to catch Simon Gregg.
Lost a lot of ground now.
Simon, right now, if you're Troy, you'd be telling him, hey, just do your lines and don't worry about your mirrors right now. Yeah. Oh, but he's wide there. Look at that. And that's where Simon Gregg likes to go wide, isn't it?
Well, I don't know if it's a mistake or whether he's struggling. I don't know. But let's see how quickly Masoud catches up, because he lost several car lengths there. We could see from above it's about 4 car lengths as we go back to the Viper of Lee Saunders. Saunders leading the way. He's currently 6th overall and leading the SGT class. Been a good day and a sort of pain-free day so far.
Yeah, and in the SGT class, if Adrian Lostowski can finish, he'll be on the podium because Aaron Pierce is out. We can't figure it out, but he's parked underneath us. Aaron Pierce, a really good competitor in that yellow Corvette with Sam Pierce Chevrolet. And then his partner, Larry Bailey, who brought his car here. They have twin cars. He didn't make it to qualifying and didn't make it to the race. I don't know what's wrong.
You know, if they could pull a podium out of this, the results don't belie what the difficulty was. You know, that's a hard-earned podium.
No, he will deserve that Crystal Sensations trophy.
I had heard rumor that he was going to try and find a Mustang and just pull the engine out of it and put another one in.
Yeah,
not easy to do.
He told me that. He wanted to find a Mustang locally and take the engine out and then put it back in and return it. And I was like, ooh, I don't like that very much. Anything could happen there.
Ken Thwaites diving through, 5th overall and 1st in XGT. It's been another consummate performance by Ken. Loves his racing.
He really does, and he is such a nice guy. He has a really neat car shop in Brentwood, Tennessee, and I got to go there and take a tour and did a little video on the Trans Am social media sections and channels. You need to check out, because it's funny that he's such a Camaro collector racing an Audi out here in a class of Camaros. You'd think he would just go right to the Camaro, but he really wanted to get good with this Audi, and man, has he gotten good.
And just watch his hands. That's what I'm watching. Just look how smooth he is. I mean, there really isn't any... The inputs are direct but smooth.
And he truly is a student of racing. I think anytime he can learn anything about it, he is right there taking notes. And he's getting faster and faster each week.
And Masood is coming again as we go back to this battle with 3 laps to go. This the battle for 3rd overall in TA. And it's hotting up. And just at the right time, too. Tommy Dreesy leads this race. Amy Ruman is 2nd. Simon Gregg is holding on for now to 3rd place. But again, .064 last time out from Hamid Al Masood in the last lap. And he's got time with 3 to go to have a crack at it. He lost it some time. There's a back marker in front. But he lost some time last lap out, but he's caught it up again, or caught at least a little bit of it up.
And look at Adrian Lostowski there, just giving them the race. He's always aware of where he is. He's a longtime endurance racer, so he's kind of used to this mixed class racing. But, you know, he's in a different racing. He's in a different race for himself.
Yeah.
He's just trying to finish the race and get the points.
Yeah. We'll get the white flag out next time round, and I think Masood will know that. So we go high and above this Brainerd circuit here. It's been a beautiful day of racing here, and I hope we put a good show on for the Cophams. I believe we have. And
you know, knowing
Jed,
he'd be in the podium hunt this race.
Yeah,
he's a great Corvette driver. Had a lot of fun. Raced here with us a few times in the TA class, and raced at Daytona with us a few years ago. Great racer, and he had a Corvette, a blue Corvette, looked just like Amy's there.
Amy looking for her best result of the season, if I think I'm right in saying, and looking to take 2nd place here. Tommy Dreesy a long way up the road, some 43 seconds, but this has been a good performance by Amy. And she will take the white flag in a moment. And the clock ticking down as well here in our TA, XGT, SGT and GT race as we look at our leader with the Lucas Oil sponsored number 8 of Tommy Dreesy. Done the Western Championship, won that.
White flag.
And there is the white flag for Tommy Dreesy. And Ben's going to have his work cut out to stop Tommy writing a book on the podium, because I'm sure he'll have plenty to tell you.
Yeah, he's very animated, but I know that Claudio Burton and the Burton crew over there, Terry, you guys have got to be so proud and so excited for Tommy. He let the race come to him. I didn't see him put a wheel off or make a mistake.
Well, the only mistake he made was at the start, letting Amy through.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it really wasn't. She just got a run on him and just got a better start and took advantage. But ever since then, he put some real pressure on Amy throughout the first sort of 2/3 of the race. Finally got past her, got a bit frustrated, and that is one of Tommy's sometimes weaknesses, that he gets a little too frustrated. He's, like you say, a very animated guy, and he gets all emotional and sometimes pushes too hard. But this time he bided his time, got past. It was a nice move. He might win the Cool Shirt Award as well, because it was a good move. And since then, he's just built on his lead, got into the zone, and built and built and built. Now, Masood got one more chance now as he dives into turn 12. We'll go back to that battle, I'm sure, for third place before the end of this, as we look high and above this Brainerd circuit for the final lap. Been a beautiful day here of racing.
Here it is. The
Here
Lucas
is.
Oil Slick Mist Chevy Camaro of Tommy Dreesy with Burton Racing coming in to take the checkered flag, Jonathan.
Yep, here he comes. Tommy Dreesy is back to winning ways, and it's done it at Brainerd, a track he loves. He takes the checkered flag, and that is a mammoth win.
Nice. Tommy, good job.
Really good stuff.
Good stuff.
You got
Look
a
at
feel
that.
for
There
Ernie
they are.
Francis, the team, Burton Racing, delighted with that, and well, they should be. I'm looking out the corner of my eye to see where Amy's coming. She'll be coming soon. She'll pop out of the blind corner that is turn 10, and here comes the Viper first. And Lee Saunders.
Lee Saunders takes the checkered flag to win the SGT
That's right.
class in the Red Viper. But here's the race for podium. Will Masood get his first podium in Trans Am? It goes a little wide there. He hits the front splitter as they come into the Clover section.
Amy Ruman crosses the line now to take second place overall. The battle has been raging all race long between Simon Gregg and Al Masood, and it's getting down to the final two corners now. But I think Simon Gregg has done a good job of holding him off, and it will be Simon Gregg in the 59 Camaro, the brand new one, that takes third place. Good effort by Masood, but in the end, he'll have to settle for fourth place. Ben's heading down to talk to our winners. Ken Thwaites on board with him now as he will win in XGT. He'll be fifth overall too, and that's a big accolade too, because that's a great result for Ken. He'll be delighted with that. Sixth place to Lee Saunders. Kevin Long takes seventh. Adrian Lostowski can't ask for any more than eighth overall, and a podium in SGT given all the woes he's had. And Ken gives us a wave on board as he turns to the fans and waves to them as they tailgate here at Brainerd International Raceway. It's been a great day of racing. Hope you've enjoyed it on our live stream. And don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, download our app for both Trans Am and SVRA on Google and Apple, and get involved with what we're doing. Lots of news stories we'll be writing up, we'll be getting features out, we'll be throwing out highlights and looking ahead to the next few races ahead. Watkins Glen, Road America, lots more racing to come, we hope, from the Trans Am 2020 season. But Tommy Dreesy is your winner, and it's donuts for everyone in Minnesota. Thought he was going to take on the old circuit then. Now he's got to be careful. If he gets stuck on the grass here, that'll be bad news. He won't get his interview. No, he's done it. He's all right. So Tommy Dreesy, who almost got pole yesterday. He was leading in qualifying until Ernie Francis Jr. did what Ernie Francis Jr. does best, which is go fast. And he was doing just that before Mechanical Gremlins struck and brought him into the pits and out of the race. But Ernie will still lead the championship, but Tommy will use this to close the gap, I'm sure. A good result for Ken Thwaites and another great result for Lee Saunders in SGT. So into Parc Ferme they come, and the fans and the team will head down to the podium. And in a moment, we'll hear from our winners, but they're all nicely parked in there. It's been a beautiful day here. My thanks to the Cophams for hosting us here this weekend, and to Ryan Companies for putting the event on. Well done to Mike Skeen and the Liqui Moly team. You see the truck there all packed up and the car just parked up. Mike Skeen doing a brilliant job in TA2. And here is Dreesy coming in. Just behind him, Ken Thwaites. Great day, really good day. Some good racing and some good stories too. A lot of hard work involved in a race weekend, and sometimes you don't hear all the stories, but we've got a good enough field in terms of numbers. Well, let's head down now. Ben is down there. Ben, back to you. What you got down there?
Ladies and gentlemen, what a great race. Here I am. They're getting Tommy Dreesy out of the car, but I'm going to talk to team owner right here. Claudio, you got to be super impressed with your driver there.
Oh, absolutely. The Lucas Oil Slick Mist car ran strong all day. Tommy did a great job and brought it home with the win.
Nice. Claudio Burton, man, a few words, but this man is not. We should see an excited Tommy Dreesy as he gets out. But get a shot of this Burton Racing team. Look at how slick they look right there. That's pretty good. You guys got to pose for the camera. You guys are looking pretty good right there. I like that teamwork. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen, the rockin' Moroccan Tommy Dreesy getting out, winning a hard-fought race at Brainerd. Tommy, take that helmet off. I got to talk to you, man. I'm excited to talk to you. What a great performance. Terry, how you feeling about that?
Oh, man, it was, we thought Amy was going to hold us off at first. We didn't know, but he came up on her, then got her past, and he put his head down and went forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, an emotional Terry St. Martin. You've been working for this for a long time, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
Nice job. I love it, Terry.
Yes, sir.
Good stuff. So, Tommy, you've got Terry in tears. He's so proud of you. We are all so proud of you. What a great performance in this Lucas Slick Mist Chevy Camaro with Burton Racing. How's it feel?
I need it. Well, ever since the COVID, I haven't been able to get a haircut. So, thanks for the hat, guys. I appreciate it. Look at this Burton Racing team. You know, Amy got a great jump, and I knew Ernie would try to put his usual 5-10 seconds on and then kind of manage the race. And it was all right. It's really hard to pass here. And Amy was actually really fast. And then every time I got on her into the fast stuff, big arrow push. So I didn't want to hurt my tire, so I kind of waited on the quickie bits to pass her. And so I was a clean race. She did a good job. Sorry for Ernie, because I want to beat him straight up, you know. So I don't know what happened to them. I don't know who finished third.
Simon Gregg.
Simon Gregg, good job, Simon Gregg. Dyson's been having problems all weekend, sorry for that. So, no, Burton Racing, the Lucas Oil Slick Mist car. My family at home, Jagger, Elin, Lacey, I love you. Mama, Papa, this is a good one. Brainerd, Jed, and Christy, and the kids, you know. He was riding in the car with me. That guy has, racing in his blood. This place, I didn't even recognize it. I was here 10 years ago. And was on the second step, so I guess we finished it off with the first step.
Nice. Congratulations, yeah. Tommy Dreesy, Burton Racing. Terry, nice job, man. I'm going to come over here. Ken Twaits, great job. I love this car. If Darth Vader could drive a car, he'd pick this car. But tell us about your race out there.
Well, it was kind of uneventful. You know, I was kind of in the middle of the Trans Am cars and the SGT cars, and just wanted to, complete the mission, man. Keep it all off the dirty part and keep it on the racetrack and bring it home.
Nice. And now, unofficially, this probably puts you ahead in the points because your cohort Eric Joyner couldn't join us.
That's right. That was the whole goal. You know, in order to win races, you got to show up. In order to win championships, you got to show up. So we showed up and we got it done today.
Nice. Ken Twaits, first in XGT, Franklin Road Apparel, Audi Sport, Customer Racing. Nice job. We're going to try to find Lee Saunders. There he is. Sorry, I'm guiding the cameraman in the wrong way. Lee Saunders, the Mopar man, winning an SGT. What a crazy race. How was it out there?
Oh, good. At the start, Aaron was really pushing us, so he was flying. I don't know what happened if he had trouble and fell back, but he was on us hard, so we really had to try to push right at the beginning. He raced us super clean, and so did the two Audis, even though we're in different classes, so that's great. And then, of course, we caught TA traffic, so we had to let those guys by, but overall, my crew just did a fantastic job. We had Jamie Kwiatek and Dylan. They prepared. We came with a car with problems, and they got it sorted out and gave me a fantastic race car.
Nice. Lee, nice job. And then one more story, if you don't mind, cameraman. We were talking a lot about Adrian Lastovsky here. Get a shot of this, but I want to show you, if I'm strong enough to lift this, this is what happened. This is his harmonic balancer. That should be a crankshaft right there. He broke that 2 days ago and didn't have a spare, so he called his buddies. They drove in, 24-hour drive from New York to be out here to race in a car that was underpowered. You can get a shot of this. Look at this. Obviously, these great Pirelli P0 tires don't fit on the wheels. They took them off of his Mustang, and the Pirelli crew were able to get these on the wheels. Not the right size, but they worked. He finished the race. We're so proud of him. He got his points. Nice job, Adrian Lostowski. I'm going to give it over. That does it for the Trans Am XGT SGT race at Brainerd International Raceway. What a great track. Brainerd, we love you. We can't wait to be back. I'm going to send it back to Johnny. Thank you very much.
Good stuff, Ben, as always, on the spot. Ben Sissel, great job today. Thanks for joining me in commentary, and thanks for those interviews. Just a confirmation then, Tommy Dreesy with his first victory for the Lucas Oil Chevrolet Camaro. And Amy Ruman takes the Nichols Company Chevrolet Corvette to second. Simon Gregg and the Chevrolet Camaro in third. And a great effort by Al Masood Hamid, really pushing on in the Ford Mustang. Ken Thwaites wins in his class XGT. Lee Saunders likewise for SGT. Kevin Long is second in XGT. And Adrian Lostowski. Despite all those problems, the fast auto racing Chevrolet Corvette makes it to the podium after a great run. Kerry Hitt is ninth, and Aaron Pierce rounds out the top 10. It's been a good weekend, no question about it. Ernie Francis Jr. sadly did not make it to the finish, but he continues to lead the TA Championship. And Chris Dyson, likewise a mechanical for him, but the plaid Ford Mustang will be back. So I hope you've enjoyed our coverage here from Brainerd. We're going to stay up north for our coverage in the next few weeks, as in a few weeks we will be at Road America. That's at the start of August. Then we head to Watkins Glen, if everything is okay. But we look high and above this Brainerd circuit, and as we finish our day's racing here, let's give some real thought to a man who put this all together back in 2006 and brought Trans Am back to Brainerd, and is looking down on what has been a spectacular day of racing. Our thanks to the Cophams. We'll sign off by saying, race on, Jed. Race on.
As you can tell, I like to go fast. Our race team is really well prepared. We like to look good, but we also like to dress good, and that's why we shop at Franklin Road Apparel. I own the company, and I wear the clothes that we sell in that store. So check us out. We carry all the top brands: Baldwin, John Barbados, Billy Reed, Goodman brand, and on down the list. So come see us, Franklin Road Apparel, Franklin, Tennessee.
Getting the most out of your Classic can mean many things. That's why Heacock Classic Insurance is excited to sponsor the Trans Am Race Series. In addition to events, we have proudly provided insurance for race cars, classic cars, and exotic cars since 1989. Heacock Classic is known for its famous agreed-upon value, where brokers and clients find common ground on coverage. So make sure to get your quote today. Follow us at #HeacockDriven.
Hey race fans, it's the start of a brand new decade, so don't be on the outside looking in. Straddle the technology fence with us and be part of all the action at every round of the 2020 season. With our all-new app, you'll now have live global streaming of all the action from the heart of each and every track. Live scoring, race highlights, replays, results, and team and driver news. Everything you could ever want to be informed of the world of Trans Am and SVRA. Download now on Apple and Android, the only place to get your muscle car media.
My name is Monse, and I am a senior at Cristo Rey. We bring high school students and corporations together to transform education. I work 1 day a week at Ryan Companies. There are Cristo Rey schools serving students across the country. Visit CristoRayNetwork.org and learn how you can become a corporate partner today.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we do drive it. But all of us in the pits want to know who's the ultimate grand champions.
Ryan, we seek to understand our clients' unique business needs and offer insights from over 75 years of experience. Our menu of integrated services span the entire life cycle of your building, from financing and development to design and construction to property management and maintenance. We think like building owners because we are building owners, and we work hard to assure that your building stays functional and cost-effective for generations to come.